welcome everybody. Episode 5.
Welcome.
You got co-star Dan Modern.
Holla at your boy.
You got myself, the I, place to be. We just want to do this episode is mainly about episode 1 and the recaps and what viewers, thought about the show, why we do the show, our viewpoints on fatherhood, and obviously hopefully lend some advice to help just one more. So
one of the big issues on the first episode was, there's a lot of controversy on it and a lot of you're bashing your baby mamas, you're just talking shit, you're hating, and one, that's not, what this show's about and or what we're trying to do.
Yep.
In my eyes, I was just telling my side of the story of what happened, and everything that I said is truthful. So it's like, just because the truth is aggressive and might sound shocking and hurt, but I mean that's what it is. Yeah. By no means, I got a lot of comments in the beginning about
you blew up. You blew up.
But there was a lot of comments about, oh, your kids are gonna see this. Your kids are, and I'm like, my kids are 6 and 9.
Yeah.
No one's gonna, in my eyes, no one's gonna talk to them about this, and one day they're gonna find out regardless. So it's like, I'm trying to be as open and truthful as I can and raise my kids the right way. I mean, I would do anything for my kids, and I do everything I can for my kids now. So it's like, by no means is this, I don't know, like a hateful podcast or a hateful show, whatever.
And that's their opinion.
Right. I mean,
that's one. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
And by no means, I mean, we got mad love. We got more love than hate on all our stuff. So, but we just wanted to kind of clear it up a little bit and talk about it. So.
No, I thought you did. I mean, some of the stuff might have been obviously like, wow, because obviously
right.
most people don't know about or do that or have time for that.
Right.
But,
And it was the first episode. We were telling our side of the story, getting into it, and it's like, so it was obviously a little bit more aggressive than the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, we want to give everybody a backstory in terms of the first thing is actually having a conversation that really people do behind doors and or what we actually talk about.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that, what's that saying? That quote,
Get ready. Get ready.
No. Scott, where are you at? Scott Manners, where are you at? In Rome. That saying, it's better to tell a ugly truth than hear a beautiful lie.
Yeah.
So you telling your side from a male perspective of what happened, obviously, since it's your point of view, it's going to be one-sided.
Right.
But there's no we're not bashing anybody. We're not trying to, put anyone down. There's pain, there's hurt, there's mistakes. Being young, there's kids, it's very complex. So, if anyone, was technically offended, it wasn't on purpose by any means. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no gain in that. We're not making money from it.
And that's the thing. There's nothing I'm getting from, telling my side of the story. It was for me to vent, for me to tell my side, for us as fathers to explain what we're going through sometimes. So there was no hatred with any of it.
Absolutely. And
it's just like what you said, it's an ugly truth. It's just not, there was some
it is.
ugly shit
and
there.
The reality is that, I mean, maybe we could have, worded it differently or what have you, but the simple fact is that everybody has issues or problem that, one, they're embarrassed about, two, they don't want anyone to know about.
Right.
So it's unfortunately that was your story that you had to overcome, just like I have things in my life that I had to overcome. I'd rather not, rather not anyone know in a perfect world, but
I held that stuff in for 8 years, for a long time since maybe not 8 years, but because I didn't find out till later. But regardless, I've never really told people that information, just because it's like, I don't want to I don't know.
No, I get it. I mean,
point.
not everything needs to be told, but I think that these types of conversation from a male perspective is, in the long run, it's going to be good, because instead of us not talking about it, what's the other saying? Scott, where are you at?
Man, two sayings in one.
Yeah, you guys are lucky.
Minutes?
Yeah, you guys are real lucky. A lot of, women think men, what's the word? Listen to reply instead of listen to hear. You know what I mean? So, and on top of that, we're not very good naturally at communicating. Like, especially when it comes to real intense emotions.
Yeah.
If I am hurt, most of the time, I'm going to display that usually in a form of anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's calling somebody a name or whatever. I don't try to do that, but that's the natural response that you have to, as a man, try to overcome.
Yep.
Women, it goes straight into emotions in terms of, crying, fear, security, things like that. So they handle it differently. So being able to talk as men about it will hopefully wake the conscience up in terms of, hey,
great.
I have that same problem or that problem. Instead of going down a path that these guys maybe did that led to, a blended family or failure and whatever, I can go get counseling as a man, or I can do this to prevent this from happening. Like, instead of, not communicating with my mother's kid, have a sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to, I know everyone thinks that I live a perfect life, which I try to, but, there was a lot of those nights that, I had to go through personally that were, super painful. A lot of lonely nights, a lot of tears shed, a lot of, failures on my end. So I had to own me and what I did or what I didn't do first. So I can get to a place where, okay, hey, I'm not coming at you from a place of pain, fear, and or defense.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard. It's like, I don't understand, in my perspective, like in my whole situation, why we can't just be there for our kids and have no drama. Like, I just don't understand why that can't happen. Maybe because there's still some hurt, maybe because there's still pain, whatever. But I want nothing more than my kids to, no one's winning if we're fighting. No one. You know what I mean? You think you're going to win, you think I'm going to win. At the end of the day, we both lose, because what's happening with our kids. So it's like, I wish I could have that Eni relationship with mine, because I don't like to fight. I don't like to argue. Playing games is stupid to me. I wish we didn't even have to go to court and deal with all that stuff anyways, because one, it's a waste of money. Two, it's like a waste of time, and it's like, what are we getting from it? You know what I mean? So yeah,
No, I agree, and that was one of my biggest things. I said, hey, what's the point of going this route?
Yeah.
But I had to first, work on myself, first own my mistakes, and then let them know that, one, I did fail in certain areas. I apologize for things on my end. So, one, they can hear that I'm trying to find a solution, and I'm not trying to hurt them anyway. I'm trying to better them,
right,
help them.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, they were able to hear that from me. But a lot of other women in other situations don't hear that, or don't think that. And then the other guy, obviously.
Well, I feel like in a lot of other situations, it's either the man or the woman still want that control over that
absolutely.
other person. You know what I mean? So it's like, if they lent them some money or something like that, like you know what I mean? Like, they would make it a point, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever the situation would be.
Yep.
It's their way to still kind of have control over that person. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, yeah, Crystal, posted a great post on Facebook. You guys should check it out with baby mamas. And when you say baby mama or the mother of my child, you know, the two different meanings of it. And I thought it was pretty cool, but you guys should go check out that post. We'll probably repost it on the, cause it's just in a comment, but we'll repost it on the page. But yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, and it's simple things like that. Like we try to, you know, not just call them or any woman with a kid a baby mama, because that's just.
I mean, I think it's just the nature of that how we've been brought up to say it. You know what I mean? Like we're not saying it maliciously.
No. But the problem is that the term, the word from someone, how if we say it, they know that it's not a derogatory or demeaning word, but that word has been used as like the lowest level of a partnership.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know, we're trying to mother of your child is so much more enlightening, at least to the ear. And at least they would, you know, defenses go down when you hear that as opposed to
it's like you almost have a little bit of respect for that.
Little respect, you know, or you know, Tara's that's Arrows and Kaya's mom. You know what I mean? That's so much more than you know. It's just like calling someone name. Like if I called, you know, Tara an asshole, I usually not that I don't do that. But I'm saying I would say you're an asshole, but I wouldn't say Tara, you're an asshole. Yeah, because that has a direct effect on the person. Yeah, because it's easier to call someone name if you're not saying their name. You know what I mean? Yep. So I think it's the same exact setup. So who was that? Who posted that?
Crystal, Rome's girlfriend.
Rome's what? Girlfriend, or mother of one of the.
No, it's his girlfriend now.
Shout out to Rome. You know, you had a couple. You know,
yeah, his hands are full. But
that's funny.
He's doing great, and shout out to Crystal because, I mean, that takes a lot to dive into or invest into a man who has that sort of. I mean, Rome's an awesome dude. He's a great guy. But for her to jump in and invest into some dude who has 3 different baby mamas, 4 kids, it's a lot. And she has her own, you know,
home family. So. Like, no, that is a lot. That's a huge risk. That's like, you know, and you have the stereotype, especially if you don't know him. You're like, oh, he has 4 kids. Yeah. But he is a good dude, and I'm glad that they were able to make it work. Because even if you like them, that's making it work is the other half, which somehow they do, which is just
they're great
off.
Together. Yeah, they're both doing really good. But
which actually reminds me, it's kind of like dating and raising our sons or daughters, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny that a lot of the blended families or failed marriages have like an anomaly, whether it's like, you know, my parents divorced and my dad was not a good person. You know, you were adopted back in, what was it?
Back when I was like 3 or something.
3 or 4. Yeah. Rome dad wasn't really.
Yeah.
Like there's always a interesting, weird thing, but then you combine that with like a lot of dads, like for their sons early.
Yeah.
Would be like, you know, well, my son's gonna, you know, he's gonna be a ladies' man, and you know, or if he's smack on a girl or whatever the case, we're giving him a high five. Right.
Yeah.
But then for our daughters, we're like, no, you're not dating, you're not looking at a guy, you're not even talking at a guy. You don't even know what a guy needs to be. Yeah. You don't even know you don't want to go this way. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know. Do you think that's weird in terms of, since we kind of do that, you know, are we shocked when they turn 18 and they all of a sudden,
I mean,
do you think that has anything to do with it?
I think that it's a lot of young kids who aren't men yet, like I wasn't a man yet, having children. And you're learning how to raise another person. I mean, I can say, like, I was raised by 2 great parents. They both got divorced, or not both, but they got divorced when I was, 12 years old, something like that. Had a huge impact on me. It affected me bad. But I feel like when when I'm talking to my kids and I'm, I don't say those kind of things to them. Like I am so like, I don't want them watching garbage TV. I want them eating healthy. Like, we go outside, we do fun things. We don't like, I want them to do every single thing like in the right direction and not, I feel like that came with maturity and growing up. And, if when you're young and you don't understand, it's like, you're going to do what you were doing and, your kids kind of follow that path. But I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just, I don't know. I feel like that comes with more maturity, showing them the right roads.
Well, that's weird too then, because women, well, supposedly, or factual.
Drop a fact, drop a stat.
No. Scott, no, there's no facts right now. But, usually women mature earlier than men.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting that when we reach, that 18, especially that when we were 21, for a reason, we still attracted usually girls that were living in the fast lane.
Right.
So it's like
when you're 20, you're still partying, you're still doing whatever,
So do you think that maybe if we had things, we're good guys though. That's the thing. So it's like even if good guys can walk that line, that means you really have to, have something in you, because you can easily fall down the path of, as we see with so many of our friends,
right?
Whether it's drugs, alcohol, jail. I mean, the list goes on.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe because we had kids early.
I mean, that was, I guess, one good thing that, having kids well, not even, because, I mean, it's good because I'm still young and my kids will be, when they're 18, I'll still be able to, do things with them and not be too old. But I
guess that is a
but at the other side of that, when you're older and you're more mature, you have your life together. You have, you have a house, you have, certain things that you would, you want to raise a family with. You're already at that maturity level of, you're not going to be clubbing, you're not going to be, or hopefully, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, there's some good and some bad, but yeah, just depends, I guess, what road you want to go down.
So do you think that a guy should, as in, do you think if you had help, whether it was couples counseling or counseling for yourself or a men's group or whatever the case,
for me,
do you think maybe the result of you and your previous relationship
it wouldn't have helped? It wouldn't have helped me, and the reason why it wouldn't have helped me is because I wasn't in love with her. We had a baby, and I stayed there for my kid, and then we had another baby, and so I was willing to stay in that relationship until they were 18 years old, and then I was going to, once my kids were grown, out of school, 18, then I was going to be like, okay, but I was not in love with her that way, so it was like, counseling wouldn't have helped us. I wish we were friends. We were great friends, but once we stopped dating, and not even stopped dating, but once I found someone else is when the hatred came, and like, oh my God, he's not coming back to me. That's when it was like, constant, just, I'm such a shit bag. I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing so, like, that's when all that stuff came. So it really wasn't like, even when we were broken up, it wasn't hateful, It was only when I got another woman in my life where it became, messy.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, I don't understand why people even, like the fighting part.
Right. Well, it's control. In my situation, it was control. The one thing that she had over me was the girls. So when we broke up and I moved out, I didn't take any, I left. I didn't take anything. But when it came time to see the girls or do anything with the girls, it was on her time. And then it started being like, okay, but it was never, I could never have them sleep over my house, because she knew if that was to happen, she's going to lose that control. You know what I mean? Like, if she's going to lose, I'm going to be doing something over here. I might find someone else and be doing something with the kids with that other person. So she loses that control. And that's what she had against me. You know, when we fought or something happened,
Yep.
it would be, you know, I'd be like, "Oh, can I come over and see the kids?" And she'd be like, "No, you can't come over." You know what I mean? Like, so it'd be like I would have to be nice to eventually see the kids. And it was like, you know, it was just that type of control. And that's why I'm glad we finally went to court.
Yeah.
Because then she had to follow the rules. You know what I mean? Like, it was rough in the beginning and there was a lot of rule breaking, but for the most part, you know, I get my days, you get your days, and that's it. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think any counseling or anything would have helped my situation, but I think a lot of people, you know, people who, you know, you wanted a family, you started, you know what I mean? You were in love because you wanted that family.
Absolutely.
So for you, I think it, you know, people like you and people, you know, who get married, who have kids, they're in love. So counseling might be able to help the situation and you know, get them back on track. But
yeah, no, that's true. I mean,
but at the same time, you know, maybe it's too far gone for, you know, that to happen. But I don't know. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about your kids, and you know, no one's winning if you guys are bickering back and forth. You're both, everyone's losing. You know. So.
yeah, but I mean, I think it's obviously there's usually people fight. There's usually pain involved, or
Right.
trust issue, or jealousy,
Yep.
or something that usually 90% of the time is actually affecting you versus the person affecting you.
Right, but the shitty thing is it has nothing to do with the kid. Like, the kids aren't involved at all.
No. The kids are just the, unfortunately, the collateral damage from
Right. And no one
from
seems
fighting.
Yeah. No one seems to see that part of it. When you're angry and mad, you just want to hurt this person. You don't care about, you know, those other pieces of the puzzle.
You're right, man. Oof. Maybe if we had I don't know, maybe if we were more mature when we were, you know, younger, we would have made a wiser selection.
I think people shouldn't have kids before they're married. I mean, I think you should get married first and, you know, then have a family, 100%.
So it looks like Mama and Daddy were right. Our
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't want to say unfortunately, but like, when you're younger and you know, have a child, then you have to step up as a man and raise your kids, even if you're, you know, super young. But in my case, you know, I was adopted. So I would, and this is, you know, I would never leave my child. If I was ever to have a kid at any age, I would never leave my kid. And that's the reason why, and she knew, but that's the reason why I stayed, was because.
But do you think you staying, even if it was when it was cordial or going good, was
well?
the
We
best
weren't.
choice?
We weren't dating. We weren't even in a
Well,
relationship.
the first time.
With my first child, we weren't in a relationship. She hit me up.
What are you talking about?
We weren't in a relationship.
Yeah, you were.
No, she hit me up.
Yes, you were.
She hit me up 4 months. 4 months down the road.
You guys lived together. You guys
No,
dated
no.
together. What are you talking about?
We didn't live together. My first child. She hit me up 4 months down the road after she was pregnant and said, "I'm pregnant," and
But you weren't dating.
we weren't dating. But then we decided to get back together for the kid.
Oh, okay. I got you. I thought you were dating the whole jump from day one, and then she was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant." And
No,
then,
we were still. I mean, we were. See, I don't know like the time frame, but we were hanging out, and then I think we were hanging out until like we weren't dating, but we were hanging until like a couple months, and then she told me, you know, I'm pregnant, because I was supposed to go back to California, and that was the thing that was like, I know he's gonna stay if I drop that on him, so. You know, I would never leave my kid, regardless. You know, if it means staying here for the rest of my life, I would do whatever it takes to be with my children. You know, no matter what. But yeah, that's.
But it's also it's parenting. There's no rule book.
Right.
It's just a guide. It's a guideline.
Yeah.
So everyone's gonna have, even probably their own opinion about the stuff we're even talking about right now.
Yeah.
Which is actually also why I tell everybody that we're gonna have, females on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So whether they're, single and what they're looking for as a man, or what they think of men with, children or blended family.
Yep.
Women that are a baby mama or mother of a child, we're gonna have them on the show and get their perspective, and and have just these, unfortunately, these difficult conversations that will hopefully, be easier to talk about and be normal.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh my gosh, did you hear what he or he said? But even though those are the conversations you're having through text.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's
text
in
is
reality,
a dangerous thing.
I
would, some advice that I would give some people, if you're going through that kind of stuff, is don't, especially if you're going to court or it's going to come down to that, don't be petty. If that other person is going to mouth off on text and act crazy on a text, be as normal and nice as you can be, kill them with kindness, because when it comes down to the time where you have to go to court or you get a GAL or whatever you go into mediation, if you're saying stupid stuff to whoever, her or him,
Yep.
it's only going to bite you in the ass going to court or going to mediation or whatever. In my case, I was very, very, I always am, but I was never swore at her, never did anything mean, never said anything. You know what I mean? I was very, hey, can I see the girls? Hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So, but on the other end, it was very, very spiteful. And I was cool, you're just digging your hole deeper, So it's if I was to give any advice, I would say, one, don't be petty, be normal. And two, save all that stuff. Save it all. Hopefully they don't go down that road. Hopefully they have a good, clean, they're like you, with your,
Yeah.
I don't even want to call them baby mamas anymore. You know what I'm saying? The mother of your children.
Life partners or something. We gotta find a different name.
Oh no, the name for the show has to be baby mamas, but for your case.
but you are right though. And I think to piggyback off that, I think also, get yourself right, because if you're in a place of pain or hurt, and or if your guy friends, because usually you're venting to them oh crap, here we go again, she's hitting me up.
Yeah.
If your support system isn't supporting you in a positive way, one, you need to let them go.
Yeah.
And then two, own your mistakes, and then own what you're going through. You know what I mean? Because if you're just wilding out based off of what she's doing, you're just the other half of what you're complaining about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that's probably the big tidbit that you should probably carry with you.
Yeah.
But
what else were we gonna talk about? Ooh, should we bring this up?
What is it?
This was the reported.
Oh yeah. People unfortunately, did report the page. Obviously, which is why this episode is going to more about why we're doing it. Some people obviously did not like mainly what you said or the stories they heard.
Right. Yeah.
Which obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's not to bring anybody down. But if you don't know theoretically, if you don't know the story, you don't know the pain and or the journey one has gone through.
Right. Mine is just my story and my literally the pain I went through to fight to see my kids has been unbelievable. And my work has helped me so much. You know what I mean? Letting me go early. I got to pick my kids up at school. They've been amazing. But yeah, it's just, by no means, again, are we am I trying to bash anybody or whatever? But like you said earlier, it's the ugly truth, So, I'm just sharing my side of the story. And again, there's two sides to every story, and this is ours. That was mine at the time. So
it is, and you can't. And unfortunately, this is a podcast. You can't have the whole life story in 30 minutes.
Right.
One, and then two, for everyone to actually comprehend what's going on. Because once you understand the story, then you understand all the stuff that goes along with, like adjusting schedules, the lonely nights, the fear of the next chapter of your life. Like, crap, how am I going to get over this?
Right.
Now the person that I'm bringing into my new life has to deal with technically a failure that we have caused.
Yeah.
So that's more of why we're doing the podcast. It's not just the initial story and that. It's to open up that channel and be like, hey, no, unfortunately, you're going to fail in different areas. We failed in this particular category.
And I'm praying this helps people out. You know what I mean? Like seeing our mistakes, other people on the show's mistakes, and like this actually be, they're like, oh, maybe I should do this time. So, but again, like, with the harassment thing, Facebook took the video down and sent me a message. And then I said, no, please review it. And I'm not harassing anybody, we weren't harassing anybody. We were just, I didn't even call out names. So they looked at it and was like, and we posted it on the page, and they were just like, we're very sorry. We reviewed it, and your post is up again. We appreciate it. So, thanks for them for doing that, and actually checking it out. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of hate on the first one. There was a lot of hate, but a lot of people at the end of the day showing love too. But this isn't like a hateful podcast. This isn't a hate. We're not trying to be hateful at all.
No, but it's also a good thing, because now there's a lot of, obviously this is a big thing that really no one actually even talks about.
Right.
Or no one knows how to talk about it. Everyone's quick to deal with the lash out.
Yeah.
No one has an actual conversation about it.
But especially when there's not that other side to be able to defend themselves or talk back, you're gonna get hate.
No. So the people that maybe don't agree with the podcast or the story or whatever the variable is, definitely message us, or if we can easily answer them, and if the conversation's even deep enough, come on the show.
Right.
I
actually had a couple people who might jump on who were messaging me.
We can definitely, understand where each person's coming from and viewpoints and backgrounds, and maybe come to go, hey, everybody's dealing with pain and hurt and confusion,
right,
and unfortunately unfairness and a level of sacrifice that both parties have to make it work.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you guys are fighting and no one's communicating, all that person sees the sacrifice and pain, and the other, and vice versa, and it'll always continue. It'll never end.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I hope I can get one day where I'm like, that's the mother of my child. You know what I mean, or my children.
I mean, it's possible,
right? But right now, it's just like we're still going through that hate.
When was the last time you had a heart-to-heart conversation with her?
I would say at Starbucks when we talked, and she said,
when was that?
She only asked for child support because she was mad at me.
Yeah, but when was that?
A year ago.
Okay,
we don't even talk. We don't talk.
That's
We email and text about the kids. That's it. We do when we exchange. We don't talk at all.
So why don't you? Would it be crazy for you to be like, hey, I've been thinking about it. First off,
it wouldn't be crazy for me to do that. It would actually probably be very responsible of me to do that. To be like, hey, can we sit down and talk? But and this is just me saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her, whatever. But I don't think that it would help because.
No,
she on her side, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be, oh, let me go talk to him too. It would be something spiteful or how can I manipulate this so I can turn the page on him? You know what I mean?
Well, possibly, but I think at least if you're going to have any shot of healing, I think you should.
Oh, I'm healed.
No. I'm not saying you're.
I'm healed, baby.
Okay, first of all, faith will be faith will be a topic on the show, just to let you know. And if you don't believe, you don't believe, because I believe. But that's another one. But I think you should 100% hit her up, have the conversation, and one, we know that, well, based off everything we've gathered anyway, she's probably not healed or her pain, whatever the case.
Right.
Absolutely. So I think you need to have a heart to heart and apologize for your end. And I'm not. No.
I understand everything you're saying.
I know you don't agree with it.
Oh, I don't.
And I know you don't. That's why I'm going to elaborate more.
Yeah.
As in terms of.
Please elaborate.
In terms of, hey, such and such person.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we have 2 kids together. You know, at the end of the day, it's about them.
And you know what's funny?
No. Hold on.
All right.
So the first half is me.
Yep.
I'm the other half of the equation. So first off, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I had, disrespected you and or not listened to you in terms of trying to understand where you were coming from.
Yep.
Because sometimes that goes a long way. Second, we need to at least be on the same page in terms of, hey, we're not always going to agree, and it's going to be a little unfair for both sides because that's what a blended family is. It's not a marriage anymore. It's not a union.
Yep.
So I really need you. I need your help to help us and vice versa.
And I will say,
you know what I'm saying?
And I definitely agree with you. You know what I mean?
At least that will at least bring down like,
right.
hey, at
100%.
least that's
I'm not there
start
yet.
the healing process.
Right. I'm not there yet to do that. I have already done that, and I've sent emails just like that, saying this, this is only affecting the girls. Can we not do this? Blah blah blah. And it just, you know what I mean? It doesn't do anything because there's still so much pain and so much hate. I 100% agree with what you're saying, but right now, it's not going to do anything. Like I've already done it. So it's like, me doing it again.
I think you need to do it again.
But then it's just like, what? Keep doing it? You know what I mean? Until it's finally like, oh, okay. It's so manipulative anyways. And like,
no. I think you need to do it on, because that's the only shot you guys are going to have by you taking the initiative.
How did this get flipped on me?
I don't know what's flipped on me. You know what? I'm the therapist now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree. I just don't think it's going to go anywhere because...
In terms of a resolution and or any better than where you guys are at now?
Oh, it's not going to get better at what we're at now because we don't... I mean, 1, we don't speak, and 2, we just have our schedule, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? So apologizing and doing whatever... there's just still so much like sneakiness, man, I want to tell the story, but I can't.
No, I know.
There's still so much things that manipulation and things that are going on. So even if I sit there and apologize and I'm a nice guy, it's like, I think we're going to be good, but then I'll get, shoved under the bus again when we go to court or for something else. And I'll be like, wow, really? And that's just my opinion. But I just don't think it will go anywhere yet because we're not at that point. I do agree that that's what should happen, but I don't think it will go anywhere right now because we're not there yet.
And well, I agree with you. And these are the kind of conversations or problems that you're not alone.
Right. Oh, definitely.
I had to go through it myself with the both of them. Now I think about it, crap.
Yeah.
And I had to, lucky enough, I went through so much and did so much that I was able to get to a point where we were actually able to communicate.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't and I didn't do the things on my end, we'd probably be in a situation, if not worse, which I'm very thankful I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be in that space and have no problems and just be like, cool. But yeah, we're just, did you, I forget, did you go to court? You didn't go to court with any of your kids, right?
No.
Right. So you guys just had the agreement and that was it. Yeah. See, I wish we could have done that, but again, the controlling thing, in the beginning it was, oh, I filed these papers for you to go to court. And I'm sitting there like, damn, okay. And I'm like asking my girl now, I'm like, what do I need to do? I even texted my, baby mama, like, what do I need to do? I don't want someone showing up at my job with papers, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you'll be served. So I'm talking with my girl now and we're just sitting there. So we make a phone call to the court and it's like, and it was no papers have been filed. Nothing's been filed. So it was just another tactic to scare me into, into doing what she wanted me to do. And then I got a message from her brother,
Mm-hmm.
just talking shit and like really hating. But I sent him back like the nicest message ever. I'm like, bro, I've known you for a long time. You don't know the whole story, so I'm not gonna, I understand why you're mad.
You coming from a pain,
but
of
I'm not gonna
protection and
right.
hurt. And,
I didn't say anything mean back. I go, why don't you ask your sister what the actual story is, and don't message me like that again. But I didn't say anything mean, hateful, whatever. But it's just like, again, it's just a lot of manipulation and everything. And that's when my girl was like, you need to file. You need to just go to the court. Oh my God. And then when I did file, I got in trouble for that. It's like, you just told me you filed and then you didn't. But then when I file, it's an issue. So it was just mind blowing. So yeah, we're not there yet.
Well, there's two things for that. There's one, as a man, as a father, what do you do when your ex or whatever, or partner, whatever you call it, is being malicious, is being just downright like, what are you doing?
Well, right. I mean, you just have to be nice and keep going forward. I mean, at the end of the day with me, it's like, all I wanted was time, like fair time with my kids. That's it. Because if the court wasn't involved, I would have no time. So it's like, all I wanted was my half of the time with my girls. That's it. So with my situation, court had to be done. And I'm very grateful that it was done, because, I have my time with my kids. And at the end of the day, if the other half, this could have been solved so much easier, this could have been such an easier process, especially for the girls. Our girls went through a very, very shitty time in the beginning. It was very, my youngest, not so much because she was too young to realize it. Yeah. But my oldest was very, very just hurt. And, there was a lot of things going on that maybe we'll get into an episode about that. But she had a hard time with it. So, and I mean, that was the hardest part. It's like, you're using the kids for pawns, and it's just like, who's winning? Nobody. So what do you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, that's so complex because both, everything you're saying is 100%, one justifiable or understandable. And the other half is on her end, it's kind of like, the things that she maybe wants, she can't have and slipping away.
Right.
And
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Slipping away and it was just,
it's like,
right. There was a lot of pain.
So obviously sending a text that, even if you get a negative response, you get a response that might make you feel like you're still connected to you. Yeah. Which it sounds like that's probably what she did. Mm-hmm. And then when you actually acted on that because you're in a different space, you're like, oh crap, no, now you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we got a comment. Shout out. Oh. All right, oh. All right. You're all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to bring single fathers on, bring fathers on, bring mothers on, bring whoever, really, to talk about, what's going on in your life and just some problems and, tell your side of the story.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously we'll have a lot more episodes and we can really dig into, how we got into these issues, what we did to resolve some of them, the issues that we're still going through, and potential issues, and then obviously we have our guest on and hopefully, help out somebody,
Definitely. Well, yeah, I
think that's it then, unless you got something else.
No.
Viewers.
No, we're good. I think next episodes we'll have another father on, and maybe we'll try to get a mother on.
Wait, who do we? Who's the next? Do we have another lineup? Who's the next lineup?
I don't know yet. We have a couple people, but I'm thinking we should get a mother on and kind of talk to her, see what her thoughts are.
All right. Well, if any mothers wants to come on the show, message us, and hit us in the comments, and we'll have that conversation. And hopefully some resolutions.
Yep.
If not, we'll bring some boxing gloves and,
How tight would that be?
Oh, jeez.
Just kidding. We're not supporting violence.
No. Oh, man. That's funny.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. There's two sides to every story, and this is our side. We out.
Peace.
Later.